This is a nice self-timer picture. Take a picture and self-timer. Okay.
Starring Tyler Blunt.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you have not seen me before, my name is Tyler, and you are watching another episode of Conversations with the Natural. And today we have my friend Briana.
Hello.
Hi friend, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, figuring out life as, as it goes. So, what you been up to?
100%. So we just moved into school last week. So I've been helping out with moving this week for the freshmen. It feels weird to be back because now, we have to be wearing masks everywhere and, it's just not the same. And a lot of the students haven't even moved in yet. So it's like sporadic again throughout the next 3 weekends. So it's just weird. Very different. And, we can't really have people in our rooms. We can't visit anyone. So it's just a different dynamic. But, I'm excited to be back. And hopefully, everyone takes everything seriously so we could stay in December. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the hope. And I know you're a double major, but what are they?
So it's criminal justice and legal studies.
Gotcha. You finna be a lawyer?
Yes. I'm going to start studying for my LSATs and take that in January. And, go from there, see where I go, where I end up. I'm very excited.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna jump right into it and get into this conversation. So first, can you just tell everybody your name, your hair type, if you know it, and where they can find you on Instagram?
Yeah, okay, so my name is Briana. My hair type, well, I have my hair in braids right now, but like normally I would say my hair is a mix of like 3B, 3A, some 3C, like in the back. But yeah, mostly like 3B, I would say. And my Instagram is @_Brie Cobbs, so BRICOBBS.
Good. And have you always been like natural, or were you like one of those people who always got their hair straightened, or like what was the experience growing up?
Growing up, I mostly had my hair in like braids. Like my mom always used to get my hair braided, like especially in the summer, or she would have like some type of cornrows in the front or like something like this in the front. And she would only straighten it like if, I had like photo shoot or something, like special occasions. But then in high school, when I had my Sweet 15, I got sew-in extensions in the back of my head, like from here to like go down. So, and they were straight. So I straightened my hair, had those in for a while, longer than I should have had them in. And by the time I took them out, my hair was very damaged. Not only from the heat of straightening it over and over and over again, but like the weave like pulled out a lot of my hair. So my hair kind of never recuperated back to what it was from before that, because my hair used to be very long, halfway down my back, and now my hair grows up to like here. But I did just restart my like natural journey, because after that whole thing happened, I hadn't straightened my hair for a very long time. But actually, it's funny, 2 years ago today, I used to do texturizers a lot. You know what those are?
No.
So kind of like relaxers.
Oh, but it makes your hair curly?
But they don't. No, it's supposed to make your curls like more tame and like more. It's like supposed to help your hair just be more manageable, right? And they don't tell you. They don't advertise it as a relaxer. They'll say, no, it's a texturizer. It's just to help your hair be more manageable. It's by Just For Me. That brand, Just For Me. Yup. So literally, I use that. I used to use that all the time. My mom used to put that in my hair all the time. And 2 years ago to this day, I used that with my friend, and I literally killed my curls. My hair was wavy. Like, it was like type 2 type hair. Like, it was not what it is today. I remember just crying, being so upset, like, oh my gosh. So I had to restart my entire natural, journey. So but I haven't, since then, I haven't straightened my hair. I haven't touched, my hair. Like, this is the first time I'm really doing anything to it in a while. But yeah, so that's my story of my natural.
Wow. I've heard of a texturizer, but I don't think it's been explained,
Yeah.
like what it does.
And like when I used to use it when I was little, my mom used to do it for me, but it's just, you don't leave it for that long, right? So the longer you leave it, the more it does. My mom used to only do it on like mostly my like ends. She wouldn't really do it on my roots, just like my ends, to just help it be, I guess, more like manageable, because my hair type used to be like a lot like coilier, I guess, like when I was little. Um, but yeah, and like whenever she used to do it for me, like it was never an issue, right? Like I always remember it being like, oh, I loved when I get my texturizer done. Like my hair was like, longer. It looked longer because the curls were looser and whatever. And that day though that I did it, I literally, my hair was so messed up. I was so upset. But from that day, I was like, I will never use that stuff on my hair again. And I haven't, and my hair has been doing really well. So it's just.
So now, knowing what you know now, and thinking back on all like the stuff that you've done to your hair, so the texturizers and whatnot, like how do you feel about your natural hair?
I really like my hair. Obviously, there's things that I wish I could change. Like I wish my hair was longer. That's like my number one thing that I've been trying to work on, is like trying to grow my hair. But sometimes your hair just doesn't grow past a certain point, and I feel like I'm kind of getting to that point because my hair. But I also just don't think it's my hair that's not growing. I just also think my hair is getting a lot healthier, so my curls are shrinkage. Like it's just, it sucks. It's a blessing and a curse. So, but I definitely like my hair. I just wish it was longer. But like, as in like what my hair looks like, there's obviously good hair days, bad hair days. But on a really good hair day, I love my hair. Like it's just free. It's soft, and like I love my curls. It's taken me a long time to be able to say that, but like I love my curls.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's always a process to at least getting it to where, like, back to where it was. Because like for me, my hair very similar, but my hair was long. My hair's always had a lot of hair on my head. And I think for me, I like at the beginning of my journey, it was like, oh, okay, I just need my hair to be long. I don't care about the state that it's in. I just want my hair to grow and get it back to where it was, so I could just, so I could have long hair, so I could just be like,
You could just be like this, yeah.
Yeah.
Like having these, I'm living like.
Oh, but it's just a lot of things, I don't know, that go into like the way we think about it and stuff like that. So we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But are there any specific memories that you have like about your hair? Like anything good, anything bad?
I always remember getting my hair braided. I used to get it. My mom's friend used to do it for me, and I literally remember like, especially in the summers, every 3 weeks I was going to get my hair rebraided. And I just remember I was very tender-headed as a child. So like, I guess you would say those are bad memories because I have it ingrained as pain. Like, oh my gosh, like I just remember it being so painful. And my mom, I remember she used to bribe me. Like I used to not want to get my hair braided because of how bad it used to hurt. And maybe these ladies were just pulling my hair, but that I just literally remember the pain. But last summer before we moved in, I got 4 feeding braids, and then now I just got these, and those didn't hurt. Maybe just because I'm growing, but like I guess I'm not as tender-headed as I used to be, because there was a period where I just stopped getting my hair done. From like in high school, I really didn't do much to my hair, other than when I was straightening it. But like, yeah, that.
Yeah, I remember those days. Had the little braids with the beads at the end. Yes, the beads at the end, just making every sound in the world.
Moving around and whipping my hair back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, but a good memory, I guess you could say, is
Okay, good. Yeah.
this head wrap that I have here. Okay, I've had this since I was 3 years old. And it was my grandma's who passed away 3 years ago. She gave this to me when I was 3 years old, and I still have it. So this is like one thing that I still have of hers, and it's like a good memory because I used this throughout my entire childhood to wrap my hair every time I got my hair done, and I still use it to this day. And I'm about to be 21 in 2 months. So like, yeah. And I've lost it. There's been times where I couldn't find it for a couple months, but it's always found its way back to me. And I still have it to this day, which is really crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that. I just saw it right there.
See, look at that. And are there any like particular tricks or tips that you found useful for your particular hair type?
For me, it's always, I think, less is more. Because again, growing up, I guess because my mom has, she's from Guatemala, so she has straight hair. She didn't really, know much about how to do my hair. Obviously she learned, and but that's why she used to take me for people to get my hair done because she didn't want me looking a mess. But she used to just put glops of mousse in my hair and gel, and my hair used to be very crunchy. And so once I got older and I started, buying my own products and, investing my own money in like good products for my hair, I realized that less is more. I wash my hair like twice a week. I oil my scalp, and then I'll put a little bit of leave-in conditioner and a little bit of cream. And, on the first day, a little bit of gel just for it to hold. And that's all I really need. And it'll last me, a couple days without, having to put so much other product in it, because I realized that my curls get weighed down a lot when I use too much product. And when I like to have a lot of volume and a lot of definition in my hair, less product is more.
Now, do you care about frizz? Because like on first day hair, I'm like, I don't really care. Like if my hair is small, I'll keep it small. But if I pick it out too much, then I don't like it. Like,
yeah, I don't like frizz, no. I like my curls to be very defined. Like I like to see that nice ringlet, but I also like my hair to be very volumized. So what I tend to do is like, I'll see like a really nice like curl like this, but I'll separate it, carefully. And that will create a good 3 or 4 curls that will, obviously, make my hair look a lot like bigger and stuff like that.
Do you have any favorite products that you've kind of just, they've become like a staple in your, in your natural hair journey, stuff like that, like stuff you repeatedly buy?
Well, first, obviously, the Eco Styler gel, right? Like that's a staple. Everyone has to have something like that in their collection. But for me, it's the brand Miel. I've really, really loved their products. And I've used a couple of different lines of theirs. I used to use the pomegranate honey one, I think it was, which smelled really good, and it was really good for my hair. But this summer, I caught myself having like really dry hair, just from going like being outside or going to like the lake or the beach or whatever. So something that I got was the Miel Moisture RX. I don't know, it looks like this, and I got like the little line. And let me tell you, this stuff has really helped my hair. I guess it has like extra moisturizing, features or whatever. But not only does it smell really good, and it's not like too overpowering, but it's really, really nice for my hair. And it's really helped my hair like really soft, very moisturized. Like, I could just run my fingers through my hair and I could feel like, the difference. So yeah, definitely the brand Miel, like in its entirety, I really like their products.
Have I ever used them? I think I might have taken some when I was in your room. I might have used it a little bit, but
yeah. And I won the first thing that I used from them at CurlCon.
Oh, okay.
And since then, though, they're all like the only brand I really use.
Yeah, do I have anything like that? I mean, that might be pattern like for now because, it's new and I just got it. So that's like the main thing that I'm using right now. But
right.
Yeah, the Miel is really nice. And it's like kind of affordable. It's not too crazy with the prices. Yeah.
Compared to Shea Moisture, it's like $1 or $2 more expensive than Shea Moisture, but like, very affordable. And like, again, like less is more. So like, you really shouldn't be running out of your products like that anyway. So, it's worth it. It's definitely worth the buck.
I agree. And we're almost going to transition into like the more intenser side of the conversation. But first, do you feel like that the type of hair that you have has like affected your self-image?
Growing up, I would say yes, just because I always was like, oh, I always used to ask my mom if she could straighten my hair. I remember always being like, Mom, can you straighten my hair? Like, I have pictures on Friday. Or, Mom, can you straighten my hair? Like, I'm doing something, this day or whatever. And she would always say no. She was like, no. And that's one thing, like, she always used to tell me, like, your hair is beautiful. Like, why do you want it straight? Like, straight is so boring, But growing up, it was always like all my friends had straight hair, I grew up in a predominantly white, neighborhood. I mean, I wouldn't really say predominantly, but, there was a good amount of white people. So I used to, always be like, oh my gosh, like I want my hair to be straight, like just like hers, and so that's one thing, I guess I would say. Say the question again. Forgot where I was going with this.
Like, you're like, did the type of hair you had like affect like your self-image? Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, that's one way. But I mean, now today I love my hair, and I know that's one thing that makes me unique, is my hair. So, now I feel like without my hair, I would feel naked. Like if someone ever shaved my head or something, like I would, cry and like die in a ball. Like, but, I couldn't say that, 6, 7 years ago.
Now, so, as someone with like, how they say like the ideal hair texture, when people talk about like good hair, they're always thinking about the 3Ds, the 3Cs, the 3As. So as someone with, the ideal hair type, like have you ever felt that like texturism has kind of worked in your favor?
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing I can admit for sure. People are always like, oh, your hair is so beautiful. Like, oh, your hair is so nice. And I remember people always used to go up to touch my hair. And that was one thing I was like, don't touch my hair. Like, but I remember when I was younger, I was just like, yeah, go ahead, touch it. They would just touch it. Like they wouldn't even ask. Like in high school, I remember like there was these girls and they used to always just come up and touch my hair. Like, and by senior year, I was like, okay, stop, don't touch my hair. But like, I definitely can see like the benefits, not only of just my hair type, but, I know you're going to get into this later, but like my skin color too. With the both, like, it's definitely, and I'm not going to deny that it's definitely giving me privileges, or that I've felt like okay in like a situation or like in a space, just because of what I look like.
And because I don't know, I wanted to include this because it's like a very vivid memory that I have with the both of us. And it was that time all of us, we were out and Joy lost her phone. So both of us were going to look for her phone, and we were basically dressed the same. Yes. Like our hair was the same. We both have black jackets, leggings, boots, everything. Everything was basically the same, top down. Like our curls, the hair was basically exactly the same. And the guy who was like, letting people upstairs, he looked dead at me and he was dark-skinned black man. Okay, preface. And he was like, oh, look at her curls. They're so nice. They're so pretty. And I looked at him dead in his face and I was like, we look the same.
Yeah, literally.
It's literally the same. Like the hair, there was no difference. Like mine might have been a bit poofier, but for the most part, it looked exactly, it was exactly the same. So like, since I know you're of mixed ethnicity, do you think that plays into the way, like colorism plays into the way that people view you?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you see me, you're not going to assume first that I'm of mixed ethnicity, You're going to think that I'm some type of Hispanic or something, And every time the first thing someone asks me, like, oh, where you from? And I'm like, okay, guess. The first thing they'll say is Dominican. When I say no, the next thing they go on to is Puerto Rican. And once I say no, then they're like confused and puzzled. They're like, oh, whoa, like, what do you mean you're not either of those things? Like, what? And then they just start saying stupid guesses. For the first time in my life, a couple months ago, I got a guy asked me if I was Asian. I was like, oh, okay, that's a first.
I can see it.
I mean, yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. But I don't think it would be in a negative way that, I wouldn't say that the way people view me, I wouldn't say it's negative, and I don't really face the same, issues as, my aunt does, or, my dad, because of the way I look. And like, when I'm out with my mom and stuff, my mom is white passing. So like, it's not like people don't really assume anything. And I wouldn't say like, I would say colorism, if anything, plays in my favor, which, in the world we live in, obviously good for me, right? Yay. But like, it's not fair for everyone else. But, I try in my power, a lot to like raise awareness, and sometimes I feel bad, like saying like, oh, like I'm half black too, just because obviously like the way I look and like my skin color, is not, you wouldn't be able to tell that like right off the bat. But, I am proud of who I am and like where I come from. And I'm gonna, say that, with pride in myself. And I'm not gonna I don't say it though, like to try and fit in. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm half black. Like I don't think I've ever done that. So, because there are some people who look like me and are like me, and they'll just go around and be like, yeah, well, my dad's black though, so I can do this, or oh, I understand. Like my dad's half black. Like I get it. Like you don't get it. Like it's not the same. Like the prejudices that people go through, and like that story you said, like if I didn't look the way I looked, he wouldn't have said that, so, and it's just really annoying, because it's like we are the same. Like just because she's a little darker than me, like really, I don't know, it's just really crazy, and it sucks. And it's like, that's my friend. My friend is beautiful. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you, sir? And it's funny because I didn't even hear him say that. I didn't even pay no mind. Like, sir, like, really, this is not the time. We're looking for our friend's phone. Like, really, that's what you had to say at that moment? Not, oh, I haven't seen the phone. Like,
that's all the things that were happening that night. It was like, to just add on top of the list of things that were happening, it was just like, really?
Want to be like this? Like, really? It's just a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like when you think about it, it's like you can see it everywhere. Like not even just in like, just basic friendships, but like TV castings, like, movies and shows, and like I don't know if you know Blackish, like the creator of the show, like he's got this recurring thing of like only casting like light skin actresses, people who look like you and lighter. Like they were like, oh, okay, but she's like, she's half black, so it counts. She got the one drop of black.
It doesn't count.
No,
it doesn't count. And that's one thing. Like I yes, I look the way I look, and yes, I'm gonna admit I get treated a certain way because of the way I look, a better way most of the time because of the way I looked. And I'm not gonna deny that, but I don't think it's right, and I don't think it's fair. Like I agreed. Like today I was on Twitter and I saw a thing, and it was like, you remember like the Bratz dolls, and the movie, and how they had the dark skin black Bratz doll, and who they casted in the movie was about my color. Like that's not okay. Like we need equal representation. Doesn't matter if she has a quarter of black thrown in her, if her grandpa is black, if her dad is black, like it does not matter. Like you don't come off that way, and it doesn't look like that when someone looks at you. So we need representation that, oh, she's a dark-skinned black girl. Oh, she looks like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need things for our kids that are growing up, Like, that's stuff that, like, people like you, like, you didn't have growing up, Like, I always had someone to look up to, my light-skinned ass, Like, I always had someone on the TV who looked like me, I was the diversity, Someone who looked like me was the diversity of the TV show or of the commercial, of the movie. But it was never a dark-skinned black woman, which is not fair, and it doesn't make any sense to me, you know, because of what I believe in and, you know, what I've studied and things like that. But I just think it's really crazy how people, you know, people do that. But, you know, it's all a system. You know, one thing with my major, like I take classes on stuff like this, and it's all a system that started from the bottom when there was slaves on this earth to now, where those ideologies have just continued to grow in different ways. You know, maybe there's not actual slaves picking cotton in the field, but, you know, people in poverty, people in jail, like the prison system, the criminal justice system, the reform system is just completely out to get dark-skinned Black individuals. And it's just the way that this society has grown, and it's not right. And there's so many ways that we could fix it. But until people start realizing that, you know, we're going to stay where we're at.
And it's such a norm. Like people don't question it because it's so regular. Like, it's like, oh, okay, well, she's light, she's Black though. Like, it counts because, you know, whoever they are, they're there. But it's like, okay, but if I'm not that shade, there's no way I can relate to that character because I don't see myself as them or whoever they are, you know, models, actresses, you know, everything above, you know, politicians, whatever people want to be. It's like, how can I see myself doing this particular thing when there's none of me is being represented.
Yeah.
And especially with, like, you know, slavery has turned into different forms. Like, you know, you talked about prison and like prison labor, and they be getting paid pennies on the dime, and they be doing work like those the fires that are happening right now. Like, they're like inmate firefighters, but when they get out of jail, they can't be a regular firefighter. And it's like, why?
Right. What's the difference? I'm doing the same thing. Yeah. It's just really crazy. And I was about to say something. Hold on. Hope I can remember it.
Remember. Come on. You got it.
Hold on. What were you just saying about?
What, like prison?
No.
Prison labor?
No, it was before that.
Representation?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. I got it. But, you know, and one thing that I don't like is when, you know, because obviously as a child of immigrants, you know, we've gone through our own fair share of troubles, but I hate when people try to compare the two because it's not the same. And that's one thing. It's like when the whole Vanessa Guillen case happened, you know, from Texas, you know, the soldier from Texas who was raped and murdered.
Oh, okay, yes.
Her. I remember it was like, oh, there was justice for George Floyd. Where's the justice for Vanessa? And I'm like, you can't do that because it's not the same. It's not on the same level, and we're not talking about the same thing. So you can't compare the two and be like, oh, where's this when that happened? Like, it's not the same. Or the same thing that just happened with the little white boy when he was shot in the head. Again, his killer was caught and arrested within 24 hours of his shooting. And yet, you know, there's stuff going on. You know, this is a repetitive thing, but Briana Taylor, like, obviously that's still being talked about, but I feel like now that stuff like that is starting to become more of like a thing that makes you woke. Like they're making profits, they're making t-shirts out of it. Like, it's not
like commodifying her death. Like,
yeah, like it's not a game. And that's one thing that I hate is when people try to compare things that are not on the same level. Like, it's not equitable. Like, you can't do that. Because I'm never going to say that, like, you know, my grandparents and stuff didn't struggle in this country or coming to this country, or my mom or whatever. But again, it's not the same. Like, their struggles don't amount to the struggles that, you know, Black people go through every day in this country. Because, yeah, they had to struggle to get here and to make a life for themselves. But walking around, you know, my grandma's lighter than me, you know, she's also probably white passing. So it's not like someone's going to go up to her and, you know, like, it's just not the same. Like, it's just not the same. And I hate when people try to compare the two. That's one thing that, like, really irks my nerves. Like, you can't try to make two things that are completely separate and about two completely separate things like amount to each other, and try to say like one is more important than the other, or that, you know, because Black Lives Matter is something that, I don't know, you know, like it's just something that it has been around, but like I feel like now this year it finally, you know, got to a lot of people who it hadn't gotten to yet. I feel like it's now finally shown like how real it is, and how much Black people actually go through. Like it was never, I feel like it was never really publicized the way it was this year. And, you know, with the protests and everything that went on, like so many people got involved, you know, so many people of different races and like ethnicities, which was really nice to see. A lot of people change their ways and their thoughts, like, oh, I never thought about it this way. Like it's more things like this that we need today, you know, to try and change the like systems that we have in place that target, you know, Black individuals.
Yeah, we got so deep in like 2 seconds. In like 2 seconds. But it's like these are important conversations to have, and not just on like a surface level. Like, okay, yeah, like, you know, let's talk about Black people, okay, but then let's talk about all the different layers that come with being Black. So, you know, talking about our hair, and then talking about our skin color, you know, and all the different discrimination that we face, you know, on a daily basis. And I think it's just important that we at least start the conversation, because it's never going to stop until something is done. And we can at least, you know, say that there have been, you know, strides that have been made,
Right.
that at least bring us towards equity and not just equality, because equality doesn't always give us the things that we need, when equity is the thing that we need to be striving for.
Exactly. 100%. I agree. Because I think that, and that's one thing people don't really understand, is equity versus equality. Like, you know, I always think about that picture with like, you know, there's like three people watching like the baseball game, and they all have the same height stool, which is equal. But, you know, it's one little kid who's short, one guy who's tall, and then one person who can barely see over the ledge. You know, so that's equal, yes, but they can't watch the game. You know, they can't all watch the game. You know, you have to give certain people a little bit more than, you know, another person would need. You know, and right now in today's day and age, I think that's what people are not understanding, is that right now Black people need more support. You know, they need us, other people, to, you know, be allies for them, and, you know, to stand up for what's right, you know, and to stand up for, you know, what we want to believe in. And that's one thing that people are like, oh, well, all lives matter. Well, like, yes, all lives do matter, but right now all lives don't matter. Right now it's Black Lives Matter. And I hate when people say all lives matter, and it's like, okay, but no, not right now. Like, that's not what we're trying to say. Like, are you dumb?
And
there's so many analogies out there. Like, it's not hard to understand.
And it's like, that matters, the baseline. Like, we before we get to anything else, value my life.
Right. Literally.
That's it. That's all they're asking for. That's the bare minimum.
Value. Yep.
So
that's what people are not understanding. It's really just, it's not that hard. But it's just people who are set in their ways and who are not willing to learn, who are just ignorant. They just choose not to read on it or watch that short clip. You know, because it's everywhere nowadays. You know, it's on Instagram, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook. Like, there's articles you could read, you could Google, like YouTube. You don't even have to read if you don't want to. Like, there's so many ways to be educated and to understand why Black people can't be racist, that is somehow so far-fetched for people to understand. And it's like, no, it's literally proven. Like, there's books on it. Read about it. Learn about it. Like, you know, like, educate yourself. And maybe, you know, maybe that's a little hypocritical or selfish of me to say, because I was, you know, given a education at a 4-year university, you know, that I know a lot of people don't get the privilege to have. But you don't have to go to college to understand this kind of stuff. Like, you know, yes, I have a deeper understanding because I went to college, but you could Google it. It's there, I promise. And you could find it in easy English. Like, it's not that hard, I promise. because I found it before for other people. Like, it's not, or like, everyone's nowadays reposting things on their Instagram. Like, instead of scrolling through that story, click on it and read it. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple.
And like now it's becoming more popular to be like, oh, why am I holding this brush? It's becoming really popular to be like woke.
Yeah.
So like, you're informed, but now you're like taking over like actual like accounts from people of color, Black people, Indigenous people, like the people whose stories that these things are really affecting, and you're completely disregarding it, and you're like, well, actually, I know this. And it's like, okay, well, can you let us talk and tell you what's really happening?
Let us tell you our story, not based on what you think you know. Yeah, because you can never know what someone's going through. Yeah, you could Google as much as you want, but a firsthand account of what it's like to be racially profiled or discriminated against because of what you look like or the color of your skin, like, you're not going to be able to read upon that. It's not going to be there in the textbook. You have to actually sit down with someone and listen to them, listen to their story. Don't try to be like, oh, I can relate because of this. Like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And that's one thing that people that look like me try to do a lot. It's like, oh, well, I get it. I get it. My dad's Black. I get it. Like, no, you don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I understand. Yeah, there's been times where people have said things to me, but not because of my skin color, maybe because of the language I was speaking, but not because of my skin color, which is something that Black people can't say, it's not, that's the first thing that someone sees about you. So it's not comparable, If I would have just kept my mouth shut, then no one would have said anything, but Black people can't just change their skin color at like a touch of a button, or just, shutting their mouth is not gonna stop them from being Black. So.
Ooh, girl, we hit a lot.
We did.
But I think, okay, so right before we wrap up, what's something you'd say to someone that's struggling with loving themselves? So you can talk about hair, but then you can talk about, their skin color, just them as an entire being. Like, what would you say to them?
I would say, you gotta really learn what makes you happy, that makes you love yourself. Like, what about your appearance makes you happy about yourself? Because there's not a lot of things that we could change about ourselves, but one thing that we can change about ourselves is, the way that we see ourselves. So one thing I would say is just practice those self-care like tips. Like, look in the mirror and look at yourself and find things. Maybe you're not going to love everything about yourself and your body and your hair and your face, but look at yourself and look at the things that you really do love. Like, look at your eyes, look at your mouth, look at the shape of your ears. Like, oh, I got a cute, little nose shape, or, oh, look at this curl. Like, she's looking real cute today, I just feel like every day you have to just say positive things about yourself, that even though maybe sometimes you feel like other people don't look at you and say those things, looking at yourself like, oh, my butt looks good in these jeans. Maybe I don't really have a big butt, but they look good in these jeans, or, oh, my boobs look nice today in this little shirt, this little push-up bra that I got on, or, oh, my brows look good today. Just, I feel like little things like that can make you, make your day a lot better and make you feel a lot more confident when you step out of the door. I feel like that's one thing that I used to struggle with a lot. I'd be like, oh, I look disgusting. Like, okay, you said that, so yeah, you're gonna feel disgusting all day, but if you put on a really cute outfit one day and you do your makeup real nice, you look in the mirror, you say, damn, I look good, you're gonna feel good all day and you're gonna walk around with that confidence. And like, people can tell when you have that confidence on your smile, like when you're walking around feeling fly as hell, like looking like a baddie, like, those days where you're just walking around feeling really, really good about yourself. I just feel like, and if getting dressed all cute makes you feel that way, then get dressed cute more often. If putting on makeup makes you feel that way, then put on makeup more often, But if not, then don't do that. Do whatever makes you feel better about yourself. If only putting mascara and lip gloss makes you feel better, then do that. I feel like a lot of the times people feel like you have to dress cute every day and you have to put on thousands of pounds of makeup to feel good and look cute about yourself. But I feel like it's just working on those little things. Like for me, I just perfected my skincare routine, right? So I'm finally, getting my skin like really, really nice and clear. And now I don't really feel that I have to wear foundation and makeup all the time, So that's one thing that it's like, okay, I feel good about myself with or without that. So it's just some things that you got to work on, but every day just telling yourself like, this is what I love about myself, even if it's only one thing, That's
I feel that. I'm just like, I don't have foundation on.
Yeah, no.
All is just here. Everything is here. I don't have anything on, and I think that's one of the things that I'm like,
Good.
yeah, and that's why I'm like, okay, now learning, like, okay, look at you, okay, I see you eyebrow, like, I see, okay, I see my little swoop.
Yeah,
It's just, it's really the little things, and it's like, all right, I might not like it all right now, but you know what? I like that, and I like that, and nobody can take that away from me.
And if I want to, I'm gonna work on, what I want to be better. I'm gonna work on that. It's not gonna happen overnight, but I'm gonna work on it. And I'm going to see little improvements, and that's going to make me work harder, and it's going to make me love myself more. And if that's what you want to do, then that's what you got to do,
That's beautiful. Sheds tear. So I think we're about to close this interview, but I just want to give Briana like a minute or so to just give any final thoughts she has about, natural hair or the state of the world right now. So take it away, Bri.
Okay, to close out, I just want to say, again, like, you got to love yourself for you. I think natural is beautiful, but if you don't want to be natural, that's okay too. Whatever makes you happy, but don't think that being natural is like a taboo, or it's something that people are gonna judge you for. It's sad that sometimes, it succumbs to that, and it's like, you think people are judging you, but you just got to realize that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about you except yourself, and you got to do things that make you happy. So if having your hair out and your beautiful curls is what makes you happy, then do that. Or if having your hair straight with a perm is what makes you happy, then do that. Like, you got to do what makes you happy. And I think that it all comes down to, what you think about yourself and what you look like, and, trying to make yourself feel your best, no matter what anyone in society tells you or what society's views tell you, because beauty standards are a myth, and don't listen to them. They suck. They're not real. So just eat what you want to eat, look what you want to look like, and, do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy. And if you want to eat that cheeseburger tonight, then do it. And if you want to eat that salad, good for you, and do it. Like, either way, just do what you got to do. Do what makes you happy. That's all I have to say.
Yes, we love. But I want to say thank you for taking the time out. I know it's kind of hectic right now. Y'all about to start school again. But I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy RA schedule and doing this for me. I love you.
Love you too.
I miss you, even though I seen you Monday.
I just saw you, and I miss you already.
It's a lot.
Here again soon, and this was nice. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification right next to it so you don't miss any time that I post. And I will see you on the next episode. Peace. Video, you finished.